How was your day today? John DCQR reporting from somewhere in Toronto, Canada. Yes, and it's been an interesting few days. Yes, that's for sure. Not really much on the news, although there should have been a lot more, but I will talk about one thing that's really making the rounds in the internet, and it is called Operation Payback. Let me give you a little bit of a synopsis concerning it. Apparently, a few accounts such as Visa, MasterCard, and a few Swiss banks suspended Julian Assange's accounts for supposedly of the information Wikileaks leaked out, and supposedly from letters from the State Department. But that's not really the interesting part. The real interesting part was Operation Payback and all the overhype that has gone with it. Oh, and it's a lot of hype from all sides. In one case, there was, supposed issues over internet censorship and how the government is trying to take over the internet through ACTA and all sorts of other anti-copyright laws. Yes, and there's an awful lot of hype. I know that for sure. But there is also a couple of other things suspicious. First of all, it's received an awful lot of media attention, which is kind of obvious. Second of all, if you were following the news concerning Operation Payback, they were pretty much telling everybody that they were going to attack certain accounts, and then there was all hype in the news blogs from Voice of America, which has long connections to the CIA, which would be another matter, to MSNBC, which I looked, and it was supposedly an act of revenge, and it was in which Visa and MasterCard was supposedly threatened by the State Department and all that other crap. But that's not it's not the important part. The important part is everyone from the alternative media has said that it's the New World Order and the government's gonna come and shut the internet down. Geez, how many times have we all heard that before? There have constantly been talks about how how the government's gonna clamp down on piracy, and all the internet's going to be censored, and it's gonna wind up like the People's Republic of China. It's starting to get really, really irritating. I can tell you that because I've been surfing the net, and I had my share of burning, not downloading stuff that may or may not have been copyrighted, and nothing serious has happened at all. There were cases in which a few people were being fined big time, but in reality it hasn't been shut down. If it was going to be shut down, it would have been shut down a long time ago. And why would anti-piracy laws have any effect? For starters, download supposedly illegal download sites or torrent sites provide free advertising for the entertainment industry. Just think of it. You think they don't have guys you don't think they don't have guys monitoring what people download? Do you think that they're that oblivious to the fact that, people try to find ways to hack into their system? You don't think they come up with all sorts of programs like Silent Night to monitor what people like so they could produce the stuff that'll sell? Oh, sure, they'll lose some money initially and all that other nonsense, but they're going to be making money in the long run. And the thing about ACTA, the only reason why it didn't receive too much media attention for the simple fact that if you put the heavy clamps on people who supposedly violate copyright, not only small-time musicians will starve it, but then big businesses and the record companies in particular really don't give a rat's ass about the starving artist. And when you do download stuff, you're not really being rebellious or anything. But one thing, give me a second, one thing that does strike me out of all of this is, it's another overhyped publicity stunt. Yes, just to get people talking over relatively trivial matters, like whether people will get censored and whether people get spied on. As far as I'm concerned, it was just another counterintelligence scam. Yes, I'm rambling on, but I gotta remember a few things, such as, yes, when I did check on Operation Payback, there were complaints on anarchists on how the poor and disadvantaged were being denied access to entertainment and college books. Stuff the poor, when a person's poor would be the least of their worries. If I was poor, I'd be looking for a job. I'd be looking for some need and a place to sleep. Entertainment would be the least of my problems, I should know, because I've been through all of that stuff. Oh, and also, let me get back to Operation Payback, when all the major sites such as MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, Amazon.com, and all the others, how they were being hacked and compromised. This was like, what, December 7th, December 8th, and how all the websites are getting shut down, and there was going to be clamps and government takeovers and all that stuff. Oh, I checked those sites. I checked Amazon. I got in there, no problem. But people and there was no major serious security breaches. But people go on the internet and start rumors that there's going to be cyber wars. Viruses are going to shut down all the computers. It's just a whole load of the really stinky brown stuff called crap. Nothing is being censored. Heck, And I do check on conspiracy research and all that. This is what you would call a red herring. It's nothing but a distraction and a recent shit Wikileaks dumped in Afghanistan. About Afghanistan, oh, that's a major distraction. Afghanistan's long destroyed. They already got their people. Everybody's making a whole whack of money. You know, oil supplies are being secured from the competition of exploration and all that other nonsense. Yes, what we're doing is destroying Pakistan. Not much talk about it aside from the fact that there's drone attacks killing a few people. But if you look at Zygmunt Brzezinski and Bernard, if you look at Bernard Lewis's Ark of Crisis, in at some Bilderberg meeting in 1979, they were talking about carving up the Muslim world like a turkey. And Zygmunt Brzezinski and Zygmunt Brzezinski refined it in a book called The Grand Chessboard, and it pretty much summarized on how the West should prevent China from dominating, and one of the methods was to agitate the Muslims to fight a war against the West, and all that other stuff. All the hype is just unbelievable. There was nothing new. Heck, and if people were concerned about spying, they would demanded justice for the people running the Inslaw company, which created Promise Software. And Promise Software could not only identify patterns of voices, how people pay, and their actions, but the Justice Department ripped off Inslaw, put them in Chapter 11 to bankrupt them, in Chapter 7 to liquidate them, and they stole the software, and of course with the back doors, and sold it to all sorts of countries, from Iraq to Syria to El Salvador to Guatemala to South Africa. But the main point is, if governments on the world wanted to censor the downloading sites, they would have done so a long time ago. And that's what I was trying to get at, and all that bullshit concerning Wikileaks. It has nothing to do with freedom of speech. It has more to do with getting people hyped up over trivial matters, chasing their tails, and the powers that be still do what they want with impunity. I will eventually do more on how WikiLeaks whitewashes government crimes, but for now I've rambled long enough, and amazingly I'm doing this without a script. I just felt like ranting something today, and you have yourselves a good evening. Peace out. See you tomorrow.